We're trying to focus in on what happened in our very earliest solar system. And so that's important because we look out and see all these exoplanets now. How did they form? Well, how do we answer that question unless we understand how our own solar system forms? My name is Trevor Ireland and I'm a geochemist at the University of Queensland. There's nothing like having a rock to actually take into the lab and be able to analyse in great detail and tell you about what's actually going on in terms of processes. Having that sample in hand is paramount to understanding what's going on. A lot of my analyses are actually very serendipitous as to somebody's found something interesting in one of these rocks and wants to understand it a bit better. So this is a sensitive high-resolution ion microprobe. It uses a focused ion beam to ablate a very small area of a sample which is held in the source chamber here, and the ions are then extracted out through the mass spectrometer and passed through the end of the collector. So we can look at the chemistry of the rock, we can understand the elemental distribution, but we can also understand the isotope distribution between different mineral phases, what the composition of, say, oxygen is in the early solar system, which is quite different to what we have on Earth. And so all of these give us a signal as to what processes have actually occurred. This is basically a piece of the moon that was found in Northwest Africa after something hit the moon and material splashed down onto Earth. Quite often, it's not so much the people walking into the office saying, I've found a meteorite, which generally is a meteor wrong. So we have all these issues about where we get samples from, and mostly it's from museum curators. So you've got to be on friendly terms with museum curators to give you samples that they've got. Getting an understanding of how all that material came to be is an important component of how you deal with looking at basically just spectra of faraway, distant exoplanets. Being elected as a Fellow of the Academy of Science is truly a privilege and an honour. It's almost a culmination of any scientist's career to be acknowledged by your peers as being worthy of recognition. So I'm just absolutely amazed that it's come about.